and I do hit that one button right there. I think we're going to be live to YouTube. What's going on, YouTube? It's so nice to see you. Today we're going to be talking about the Facebook ads profit pipeline. And I just really do want to make sure that I'm live before I start this. Okay, it looks like I am, and I think I can see my face right there. So today I want to talk to you about the Facebook ads profit pipeline because I see more often than not, like 97, 98% of people running Facebook ads and doing it in a way where I don't want to say they're doing it wrong because they're not necessarily doing it wrong, but they're doing it in a way that's going to lead to frustration and that's going to lead to not a lot of sales. And what I want for you is one thing. I want you to get a lot of sales. I want you to be rich, and I want ads, whether it's Facebook ads or YouTube ads or LinkedIn ads, whichever the ad platform, I want it to work for you. So I'm going to share my tablet with you. We're going to take some notes today, a little bit of a casual conversation. And I want to show you a Facebook ads pipeline that works. But 97% of people don't do this. And the 3% who do profit wildly from this. Now, if you're watching here live on YouTube, thanks for being here with me today. You're watching a simulcast of a Zoom call that I have every Friday with my mastermind. These are amazing people. They are entrepreneurs and small business owners, and we get together about 4 times a week to talk about all things marketing to help them grow their businesses. On Fridays, we have a little bit of a lighter conversation, and I'll come live to YouTube and I'll share some of that with you. So, if hanging out with a bunch of really cool people who want to help you accelerate the growth of your business is something that interests you, I'll put a link in the chat. It's the Zoom, not the Zoom, but the YouTube chat, and it's just prouty.me. Let me see if I remember how to type. It's been a while. It's my last name.me. You'll see that over there in the chat. You just go there, hop on my calendar, say, hey, what is this mastermind that you run of all these people that want to push me and help me grow my business? I'll tell you all about it. If you want to join, great. If you don't, that's cool too. I'll still give you some awesome advice. Here is where most people screw up with YouTube ads. And I'm going to share, I'm trying to figure out where to click and share. It's over here in Zoom. I'm going to share my tablet with you, and we're going to go to the old tablet, and I'll draw it out for you. And there we go. So Facebook ads are part of a bigger ecosystem. If you're looking to grow your business, if you're looking to generate sales and get more clients from Facebook ads, it's part of a bigger ecosystem. And I want to show you that end-to-end ecosystem today. But the reality is Facebook ads sit in the middle of this ecosystem. And I'm just going to call this ads because you might not want to run Facebook ads. You might want to run Google ads. Or you might want to run LinkedIn or YouTube ads. The platform doesn't matter as much as the fact that you're running ads. So what tends to happen with a lot of people, what tends to happen is they will run ads and they will hope that all they're doing is hoping that something's going to happen from those ads. So they'll create an ad for awareness. And they'll get awareness, but they won't know what to do with that awareness. Or they'll create an ad for conversions, where you have an ad that goes to some sort of a landing page that delivers some sort of an asset. And you hope that that's all going to work, but you get people clicking on your ads and clicking on your link and going to your landing page, but then they fall away and no one actually converts. You don't actually get any email addresses or you don't get any leads from it. And you don't know what to do at that point. And with the leads that you do get, you don't know what to do with those leads. And then there are lead ads. And with a lead ad, you create the ad and you get the lead. And this is where most people stop, is that they either build awareness or they're left scratching their heads when people go to their landing page and don't convert, and the few who do, they don't do anything with, or they run an ad, they get a ton of leads, and then they kind of look at that lead list and say, well, why didn't any of these leads turn into clients? And the reality is, and this is the hard truth, guys, the reality is most people, 99.7% of people aren't going to convert. They're not going to do what you want them to do. You're creating these ads with this vision in your head that everybody who sees this ad is going to be excited and they're going to click and they're going to be as excited about what you do as you are excited about what you do. But the reality is they're not. Reality number one. Reality number two, they're bombarded with 10,000 different things coming in 10,000 different directions. And they're distracted by the dopamine hits they get from scrolling on all the other social medias. And you're just one little blip in that gigantic system. So, number one, people don't care about you as much as they think that they do. People aren't paying as much attention as you think they are. And most people, if not almost all people, 99.7%, are not going to do what you want them to do. Complicating that is you might run an ad and you might put a couple of bucks behind it, $5 or $10 behind it, and you run it for 24 hours and you look at it and you say, I didn't get any business. Shut it off. And I see that happen so many times. People will run one ad for 24, 48 hours, and they won't get a new client within that 24 to 48 hours. And they'll say, ads don't work. I didn't get anything. Well, you didn't give the ad enough time to work. You didn't troubleshoot it. But moreover, you didn't build the bigger pipeline, the bigger end-to-end system that makes this work. I'm going to show you what that end-to-end system is today. But I want to let you know the biggest problems that people have with ads is first, they don't optimize the ad, they don't optimize the process, they don't give it enough time, and they don't spend the time to actually troubleshoot what works and what doesn't. So they get awareness, they get a few conversions if so, or they get a few leads, and then all of those things just sit there and they don't do anything with it because the mindset of the small business owner right now is, well, they saw my ad, they should buy my thing. But almost all people aren't going to do that. Just a small fraction of 1% will actually do what you want them to do. That's why time, volume, visibility, and this ecosystem, this end-to-end ecosystem I'm going to show you right now, is super, super important. And if you've just joined us live on the YouTube, thanks so much for being here. I'm really grateful for you that you took the time to do this. You're busy and you're taking time out of your day to do this. You're watching me live on a Zoom that I'm broadcasting over here to YouTube. You're watching me with one of my masterminds. If you want to explore what working with me in a mastermind capacity is like, just go to prouty.me, open up a web browser and type that in. You can apply to chat with me. I'm not going to try to sell you anything. You'll know if you want to buy it or not. And if you do, that's great. And if you don't, that's cool too. It's fine with me either way. Let's talk about this end-to-end ecosystem. You see, when you run ads, it has to be supported by other first principles. Your ads are only a single first principle. Before you even think about running ads, you have to ask yourself, do I have something that people want and want bad enough to give me their email address for? So this is the thing that people want. So I have some really successful ad campaigns. I've got one ad campaign that I've been running for 18 months, not that, maybe 16 months, and I haven't touched it, and it continues to generate profitable leads for me every single day. Because I'm giving a thing that people want. I'm giving a mind map on how to write a good hook for your social media content. And every single day I get leads, and every single month I track, and more of those leads turn into clients. And it's been doing so for, I think we started it in February of whatever 16 months ago, whatever year that was. It feels like a long time ago. Some of you guys were there the day we launched that campaign. I launched it as a test and it worked, so I just kept it going. So the initial first principle is you have to have something that people want. So this is a lead magnet. It could be a workshop, could be a consultation, and make the list. It could be anything as long as people want it bad enough to give you their email address for. And you've got to test this. You can't just go willy-nilly and say, well, I like this, maybe they'll like it. You've got to create something, hit your socials, offer it to a bunch of people, see if people want it. And if they want it bad enough to give you their email address for, just test it in 24 hours, test it organically. Pardon me one second. There you go. Sorry about that. You got to test it organically. See if people really want this thing. If you can get 3 to 5 people to say, I want that just by offering it once, you might have something. So you've got to create the thing that people want. Then the next step is creating the right ad for what you're offering. My recommendation is starting with a lead ad where people will convert right on the ad itself. And so you create that lead ad that promotes the thing that they want. But we can't stop there because that lead ad is going to generate leads for you. But those leads aren't going to convert into clients. If they do, it's a miracle. But in general, those leads won't convert into clients. You'll just have a bunch of leads. Why? Because people are distracted. And this might be like you. You know, you might be in a position right now where you're evaluating a ton of different choices available to you to grow your business. And this is a strategy that can definitely help you. The people in my mastermind see the results from it. And just the fact that you're here watching it tells me that you're already taking steps towards success. So take what you learned today and implement it. So once they convert into leads, we've got to do something with them. Well, the next step is fulfillment or delivery. We have to deliver the thing that they want to them. They might get it directly from the ad, but still we want to take the time to deliver it after because somebody's on their phone, they're standing in line at Starbucks or wherever. They say, "Oh yeah, that looks pretty good. I want that. I want that PDF. I want that mind map, or I want to attend that class." They click, they submit, and then they got to place their order. Phone goes off. They open up their whatever app to pay for whatever. Phone goes in the pocket. They've completely forgotten about you. And that's 100% natural. It's not you, it's them. It's just how people are. They've completely forgotten about you at this point. Yeah, you're right. Yes, you're right, Gabrielle. I did that for you. I said that for you. So they've completely forgotten about you at that point. So now we want to follow up with them. So we follow up with delivery. Okay. That's the FU process of this, the follow up. Okay. You want to make sure you're always following up. Now, when you follow up and you deliver, this is your first opportunity to create a client. So you better make a real sophisticated and simple offer to get them into your mix to become a client during the follow-up. But you can't come on too strong. Because if you come on too strong, you're going to send them away. This might be the first time that they've ever experienced you in any way. So if you come on too strong, it's like, I'll use a metaphor here. It's like asking someone to marry you on the first date. Not the best metaphor because I know a dude who did that and it worked. And now they're married and they got a couple of kids. But in general, this is like regular life advice. You can't propose to somebody on the I know you love going on that first date and I'm sure they're very attractive and they're great conversationalists, but you can't propose to them on the first date. You can't. So don't try. Instead, just have your meal and tell them you had a nice time and then send them home. But during your follow-up, you should at least make some kind of an offer. Okay, make some kind of an offer. Then after the follow-up delivery, you then inject them into your sales process. In the mastermind, I teach a bunch of different sales processes. One of the sales processes, you invite them to get on your calendar. They get on your calendar. You have a call with them. You position the service or product on the call, and then you make the sale. That's an example of a sales process. Another example of a sales process is you send them to a web page that has a video on it that describes the thing that you're selling and gives them the opportunity to buy it. That's another example of a sales process. I think there are probably 5 different kinds of sales processes. That's a couple examples. So they've seen your ad, you've demonstrated that you have something that they want, they convert to a lead, you immediately follow up with them, and that's your first chance to make them a client. Guess guess what percentage are going to turn into clients with that follow up? Like none. But you still got to take a swing at that ball. So you take a swing during the follow up. If you get a client during the follow up, it's a miracle. Congratulations. Please send me a message and let me know. I'm very happy to learn about that. Your sales process is your next opportunity to turn them into a client. Because on the sales process, whether it's sending them to a sales page or a video, or you're putting them into a call, or you're getting them into a group, whatever you're doing, you have an opportunity to turn them into a client then. You will have a higher percentage turning into a client during that sales process, but it's still not going to be a lot. It might be 1%, might be less, because you're taking cold traffic and you're turning them into sales calls. So most people aren't going to turn into a client. They'll come on and they'll have all the objections. And if you can't handle objections, or you didn't pre-handle, there's a ninja tactic for you. You didn't pre-handle the objections before they got on the call, then they're going to go away to talk to their husband or their wife about it, or to think about it, or to try it on their own before they work with you. All of the things that they say, you got to pre-handle that stuff before they get on the call. Then you'll have a higher close rate. So you can optimize this process by doing that, and then you'll get more clients on the sales call. But guess what? Most people aren't going to convert on the sales call. Where are they going to convert? They're going to convert here in the follow-up, the real follow-up. So this is email campaigns. This is social messaging. This is texting and calling. That's where they're really going to turn into clients, because that's where all the clients are hidden. They're all hidden in the follow-up. Give me 1 second to organize my screen. This won't take long. I was not centered the way I wanted to, but now I am. Yeah, we've hidden all the money. We've hidden it in the follow-up, and that's your next opportunity to turn them into a client. So what does that follow-up look like? Well, that's email sequences. You send them emails. You could send them bonuses. You could text. You could call. Oh my God, can you imagine actually calling someone? You could invite them to something exclusive. Lots of different ways to follow up. In fact, in the mastermind, we have a 16-step follow-up sequence. Because most people follow up twice, the average for people to close is between 5 and 12 follow-ups. So we created a 16-step follow-up process. It works pretty well. If you want to explore what that's like, you can just hop on my calendar. I'll tell you all about it. It's prouty.me. That's my last name. You should see that here in the channel. My last name is Prouty. You just have to spell that out and then put a .me at the end of it. And that will, you can apply to be on my calendar. Not everybody gets on the calendar. I got to check you out first, but you can certainly do that. And I'm happy to share what that follow-up process looks like. Now, this is the entire pipeline, where we start with something that they want and we finish by following up with them a lot. Somebody asks how much follow-up. One of my follow-up strategies is 12 months worth of follow-up, where I just keep giving them awesome, valuable things and making the offer to join the mastermind. I mean, joining the mastermind is an easy decision once you start to see what you can get from it. And it's cost less than coffee. Like, I've organized this thing so that if you're sitting drinking coffee today that you bought somewhere, you spent more than the people who get strategies from me 4 times a week on how to grow their business. That's an easy decision to make, right? Ah, you see it. You see it. Hey, look, it is. It's an easy decision. So, if you're somebody that, like, you feel like you've tried a bunch of things and nothing seems to work out, like, we've got the stuff that works out inside the mastermind. It's really made for people who understand that they have more potential inside of them that's just waiting to come out. And that either they're waiting for somebody to give them permission for it to come out, or they just want to be with a bunch of people who are just like them. Yeah. So this is your pipeline. You've got to inject your ads in this pipeline. Because if you don't do that, if you just isolate the ads as one building block, but you don't follow up with delivery and try to get a client, you don't follow up and try to get them into your sales process, and then you don't keep following up with them for, like me, for a year, then you're missing out on a tremendous amount of opportunities. And you're the kind of person, if you don't do that, you're the kind of person that walks away saying ads don't work. And then if you're the kind of person who will try an ad for a day and give up on it, you've got to get a little more patience. Somebody says, how long should I test ads? A month. You should come up with a budget for a month to just test and collect information. And that's when you really get the scoop on whether your ads can work or not. Somebody asks about ad spend. So here's what I generally recommend. What does a single client pay you? Figure out whatever that is. Let's imagine you sell something that is $1,500. And if you sold somebody today, you'd make 1,500 bucks. I would designate as a 1 month ad spend $1,500. Whatever you would make from a client in 1 month, that should be your first month of ad spend to collect information. And I would go into the first month as it simply being a data collection experience. I want to know what ads work, what audiences work. You would start by doing horizontal scaling, where you try a bunch of different audiences. I would try 20 audiences. I would try 20 different audiences. That's called horizontal scaling. And then I would find the audiences that work. Where did I get the best, cheapest leads who maybe some turned into clients, and then I would vertical scale by increasing the ad budget. So horizontal scale goes this way by testing a bunch of different audiences. Vertical scale goes up by applying more ad budget to the audiences that work. That's a real powerful strategy. And you inject this strategy here directly into how you run your campaign. And then you can check the entire pipeline from the thing that people want. You can test different lead magnets to how you follow up, to what your sales process, how effective your sales process is, and ultimately creating some winning follow-up processes. All right. So that's what 97% of businesses miss. And only 3% actually do this. That's based on numbers that I've seen from a couple of different sources. I didn't research that. Just people who go to work to research stuff, they researched it, and then I just read their research and relay it to you. But that's what 97% of people miss, because 97% of people do this. They post content, and then there's a little button that says boost, and they click it, and they spend $15, and they get nothing out of it. But they feel like they're advertising, but they're not. You're not. You're just throwing money away at that point. So stop. Use that 15 bucks, join the mastermind, and let's really get into this. All right, that wraps it up for me for today. I hope you got some value from this. Let me know in the comments, and if you're not watching this live, I'll include that link somewhere nearby. In the meantime, check back here next Friday about this time, and thanks so much for being here. Well, let me stop the share. There we go. Now I can say goodbye.